All right, let's see what garbage is in the news today. Let's see if I can not get a strike on YouTube.
Now, Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. There are few things that everyone can agree on, but the verdict appears to be unanimous. Prince Andrew's interview on his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein
makes him look like a creep, yes. So they're burying this guy for whatever reason.
Was a bad idea to begin.
Nice distraction story.
With that is now a huge public relations disaster.
Prince Andrew is facing huge blowback from his TV interview about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. He's being called Prince Pinocchio, and the interview a total train wreck. Andrew denied having sex with Victoria Roberts, the woman in this notorious photo when she was 17.
Yeah, come on, we know this guy banged that girl.
I can absolutely categorically tell you it never happened.
The eighth in line to the British throne was caught in at least 2 whoppers.
All these people in this throne, whatever, this family, they all look the same. They all look like just weird. They look old as shit, like they're living on their last drops of adrenochrome or something. They just don't look normal to me. The Queen has looked the same my whole life, okay? She's looked the exact same, and I'm convinced she's going to live another 30 years and look the exact same.
I wear a suit and a tie.
But in this 2007 photo, he is leaving a London nightclub in an open neck shirt.
Public displays of affection are not something that I do.
And these photos of the fun-loving...
Oh, look at the journalistic work. Great job, guys, digging these photos up. What a distraction story. They really want to distract you away from this Epstein and any other person that's involved with him. This guy is the scapegoat for this Epstein story. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Yeah. Look at this guy. Okay, next. There's 1,000 names. Can we get the next one?
Prince on the French Riviera in 2008 tell a very different story. On the day the photo was taken, the prince claims he was eating pizza with his daughters at
Pizza. He was eating pizza. Yeah. Bring up pizza. That's a smart thing to bring up in a underage child story. Jesus.
This pizza restaurant outside London.
Why would you remember that so specifically?
Because going to
pizza restaurants is a place where you get young children. Bloody hell.
Expressing woking is an unusual thing for me to do.
Yeah, see how you said that?
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do.
Because going to a place known where young children are at is a very strange thing for me to do. I usually don't go there, remember?
Victoria Roberts claims the prince was sweating profusely when they met that night in 2001.
All right, how are you going to cover that up?
I didn't sweat at the time because
what did they tell me to say? I can't remember what they told me to say.
Had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at.
An overdose of adrenaline. Oh, like an overdose of adrenochrome. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
That be true? Yes, says Dr. Sonia Batra, co-host of The Doctors.
It's almost a form
Oh, and here we have an expert playing a doctor.
of PTSD or post-traumatic stress, where we think there's a downstream effect on your ability to produce sweat.
Andrew also claims the photo may be a fake.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
Bullshit.
None whatsoever.
Professor Adam Want, an expert in photo forensics at John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York, told me it appears genuine.
The camera that took the picture would have been at just about her eye level where you could see the flash, and it's shooting from this angle. And what's interesting is all of the shadows around each and every one of them are extremely proportional, and something like that would be extremely hard to fake.
BBC reporter Emily Maitlis says Queen Elizabeth herself probably gave the go-ahead for the interview.
We filmed the interview in the quarters of Buckingham Palace that are very much the Queen's own residence. If he hadn't had...
Which is gross, this cover-up. Look at the purple.
...the approval of the palace, I'm imagining it would have been done in a sort of boardroom of a London hotel somewhere.
Oh man, they're scramming to cover this up and distract you with this bullshit story to cover up all the other people involved.
Victoria Roberts issued a public challenge to the prince in September when she appeared in court following Epstein's suicide.
Hey, you know Disney Cruises went to Epstein Island, right? And then ABC squashed that Amy Robach's story about all this. So that's interesting.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
But YouTube's going to delete my channels because I'm not commercially viable. I don't make them any money, even though it's not in their user agreement. It doesn't say I have to make YouTube money to be here to express my opinion. So I'm just stating, actual facts. I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist who doesn't know anything.
If Virginia Roberts is watching this interview, what is your message to her?
You fucking dead, bitch. I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't have a message for her.
Prince Andrew is currently 8th in line to the throne. A lot of unanswered questions about President Trump's surprise, unscheduled doctor's visit to Walter Reed Medical Center.
I'll show a few seconds of this. They're already planting the seeds for Trump's death or, assassination.
Routine checkups are always on the official presidential schedule. And while the White House press secretary says this was routine, the secretive nature of the visit, coming ahead of the most stressful week yet of the impeachment proceedings, is prompting plenty of skepticism.
Mystery surrounds President Trump's sudden trip to Walter Reed Medical Center this weekend.
The visit did not follow the usual protocol for a routine presidential exam.
The president left the White House at 2:15 Saturday, looking casual with no tie and carrying a folder. He arrived at the renowned military hospital a half hour later.
Yeah,
Unannounced
this is news.
Caught the White House press pool by surprise.
That's news. Plant those seeds. Let's look at the other fake news stories today. There's one that caught my eye. Not this stupid Walmart shooting. Give a rat's
Parking
ass.
lot. The gunman targeting him hour, and the other deadly shooting. Another week, and we are following two developing stories, two deadly shootings, the urgent hunt underway at this hour, and the other deadly shooting at another Walmart, this time in Oklahoma in the parking lot. The gunman targeting a man and a woman in a car, riddling the
It could easily be fake. You guys have your reasons and you can dig into it. I'm sure there's stories that were posted before this event happened. I'm sure there's numerology. I'm sure there's all types of reasons that point to this being fake. The reason why I don't give a shit about this event is because CNN didn't have cameras and news crews parked at a parking lot somewhere waiting for it to happen and then show up on the scene and, break news. Because none of the major networks broke news with this. There was more people that died in this event than that school shooting, but they didn't give a shit about this event. Probably because it was somewhat real, maybe. People did die. Maybe there was a sacrifice of some sort, ritual. You never know. But whatever.
Shield with bullet holes that a bystander with a gun approaching the suspect in the parking lot. The gunman would then turn the weapon on himself. At least 9 shots fired. Family members rushing to the scene. ABC's Marcus Moore is also on the scene tonight from Duncan,
And what, a professional camera guy rushed to the scene to snap those shots as well?
Oklahoma.
The calls came in just before 10 o'clock this morning.
I'm getting several reports of shots fired at Walmart parking lot.
Police racing to this Walmart 80 miles south of Oklahoma City.
This is a very sad tale that's unfolding here in Duncan, Oklahoma.
Schools placed on lockdown.
We know that 2 people were inside of this red car you're seeing right here with the bullet holes in the windshield.
3 people, including the alleged shooter, dead. A handgun found at the scene.
We have 2 white males.
Probably just another person trying to expose the child sex trafficking rings going on and how they started at Walmart and they're covering it all up because there was a high-profile person involved.
And a white female. 2 of the victims are inside a vehicle. 1 is outside the vehicle.
A witness telling station KLCO that before the gunman took his own life, an armed citizen approached the man.
He told him to stop, and then after that, the shooter did stop, and then he turned the gun on himself.
Police say this was an isolated incident outside the store, but the shooting comes just days after the Walmart in El Paso reopened, where a gunman killed 22 people in August.
Oh, yeah, what are the odds of that? Bring that story up again.
It's a history in the last several years. It has a lot of impact. It makes people very fearful. It makes people wonder what's going on.
So let's get right to Marcus Moore tonight. He's live from Duncan, Oklahoma. And any word on a motive tonight, Marcus?
Well, David, police are not commenting on a motive, but they do say that the victims and the alleged shooter all knew each other. And tonight, investigators are looking at surveillance images, trying to get a better picture of what happened in this parking lot. David?
Marcus Moore, thanks to you tonight. Also developing just before we
Oh, yeah, check this story out.
came on the air, a verdict in a case that has made national headlines in Colorado, a jury finding Patrick Frazee guilty and
I don't know shit about this story.
All counts in the death of his fiancée, that young mom, Kelsey Barrett. Frazee was accused of bludgeoning Barrett to death while their one-year-old daughter was in a nearby room. Barrett was last seen with their daughter at a supermarket on Thanksgiving Day a year ago. Her body was never found. The jury taking just 3 hours to determine guilty on all counts. ABC's Clayton Sandell on this breaking story. He's at the courthouse tonight.
Tonight, Patrick Frazee is a convicted.
His last name's Frazee. You got a 33. Fiance. 33.
Convicted murderer. The jury taking just 3.5 hours to determine he killed his fiancée, Kelsey Barrett.
It was a sweet day in the sense that justice was brought to Patrick Frazee for this brutal, gruesome, senseless murder.
Barrett was last seen shopping with the couple's daughter last Thanksgiving.
Patrick, why don't you talk to us?
In a trial that lasted just over 2 weeks, Frazee's former mistress, Crystal Lee, testified Frazee wanted Barrett out
Crystal Lee, 33.
of his life, admitting he went 2 weeks. Frazee's former mistress, Crystal Lee, testified Frazee wanted Barrett out of his life, admitting he went to her condo, tricked her into putting on a blindfold, beat her to death with a baseball bat, then burned her body. Lee admitted she cleaned up the bloody crime scene and destroyed Barrett's phone, cutting a deal to become the prosecution's star witness. The prosecution's final witness, one of Frazee's fellow inmates in county jail, who claims Frazee asked for his help to kill all of the witnesses who were set to testify against him.
Clayton Sandell with us live tonight. He's outside the courthouse in Clayton. Not only did the jury come back fast, but Frazee was also just sentenced.
Yeah, and where's he at? He's at Cripple Creek, 33. He bludgeoned the person, really? So he crippled them, and then it's in Cripple Creek. Look at all these 33s.
Yeah, David, it happened fast. Just moments ago, Frazee was...
Yeah. F your fake story. Give me another fake story. I want more fake stories.
Their children were gathered to watch Sunday night.
Rampage. Got the ram in it. Manhunt. It's got the man in it.
Football, when 2 gunmen got onto the property, into the backyard, and began firing. At least 4 were killed, several more shot. Mothers and their children grieving tonight.
Oh, yeah. You got to take those professional pictures there at your football watch house party. So you're telling me a guy broke in with a gun and killed a bunch of people? What kind of whack-ass Americans are this that they don't have a gun there to protect themselves? Oh, don't tell me they're brainwashed by television programming, all these fake shootings making them turn their guns in so they didn't have a gun to protect their family. Well, look what happened.
And in that California community and beyond, they are searching for the suspects.
Yeah, look what happened. Another fake shooting.
Matt Gutman is there tonight.
Got to get a gun to protect yourself from those fake shootings.
Manhunt for a hit squad that filled this Fresno street with gurneys.
Our units are responding. They may be having multiple victims coming.
A group of 30 family and friends watching football. 10 people were shot.
I'm surprised I didn't say a group of 33.
4 of them would die.
They came through an unlocked gate. They walked into the backyard.
Are you crying?
And began immediately firing into...
What the hell are you whining about?
Gate. They walked into the backyard.
Look at this guy. Wake up, zombie.
And began immediately firing into the crowd.
Police say the group in the backyard of that watch party were unaware they were about to be gunned down. Police say the 2 gunmen were reportedly armed with semi-automatic...
Why is there a professional news crew here for this shooting on a random Sunday?
...pistols. And there were so many victims that every first responder in Fresno was called out. Inside the house itself, about 20 others, including women and children.
Thankfully, the children were inside the house at the time, but they could have just as easily...
This guy still hasn't blinked.
...been injured or killed.
What the gunman left behind was grisly and traumatizing.
I had 2 of my officers that were covered in blood and actually had to be decontaminated.
Is that one of them?
Police say it appears to have been a targeted attack in the community predominated by Southeast Asians.
Yeah.
But that no one at the party seemed to have gang affiliations.
Or a gun.
We're coming for you. This is not going to be tolerated.
David.
All right, I want to keep this video under 15 minutes, so I'm out of time. I'm sure they're just going to talk about more bullshit. All right, that's it.
Guidance.